All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Porcupine Real Estate webinar. This one we are entitling Get Ready to Visit or Move to the Free State. My name is Dominic DeMaria. I'm an agent with Porcupine Real Estate, and I'm joined here by Chris Lopez, the Free State Project Moving Director. Hello, Chris.
Hi, everybody.
And Chris, you want to give us a quick rundown of what you do for the Free State Project?
Sure. Well, I answer the phones and the emails, so I field questions from people that are calling the Free State Project up and want to know more information about what is the Free State Project, how can they get involved, what's New Hampshire like, how can they come up to visit, how can they make their move. So I help them with finding resources, whether that be finding a real estate agent or, ask resources for jobs, where they can look for those. And then when they come to visit, how they can get connected with people in the community. And then when they move, setting them up with a welcome wagon and get them in.
Excellent.
That's
How long ago did you move here, Chris?
I moved in 2004. When it was early on. I'm mover number 50, very proud of that. So I know a lot of people, I've seen them come and grow. This project has grown in all those years, and I'm just really happy to be part of it.
Excellent.
How about you?
I got here in 2020, height of the pandemic, escaped to New York. So
Yep. Yeah.
My wife and I moved up here, settled in the Epping area, which is the seacoast. And actually, I asked my wife today, I was like, do you remember getting emails from Chris when we moved? And she said, yes, actually. And we'll get into it more when we talk about resources, but you were very helpful in our process. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
So what is the point of visiting New Hampshire? Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, the point of visiting New Hampshire is to get connected. When you're curious about what's going on here, you got to come up for a visit. You have to meet people. You can find resources during your visit that you cannot find online. So talking to people in real life is invaluable. Coming up for a visit is your number one reason or resource for finding what you need to make yourself fit into the to find a house, to find your region, to find your people. You just come to see what it's like. Maybe you won't fit in, so, just come and see, check it out, and see what it's like. It's really important to visit before you move, in my mind, so that you can meet the people, like I said, and find the resources before you move.
I know in my case, before my wife and I moved here, we took a road trip and spent about a week driving around the state, just, driving for 6 hours, from one end to the other, and then finding a town to stay in for the night. And then, trying to find some other folks who were in the Liberty movement to hook up with that night to kind of pick their brains. And it worked out really well for us. We went to a new mover potluck on our first visit here, and that's what cemented it for us. So.
I hear that from so many people that, once they met with people here, they came to visit and did more than just, the basics, just the tours, which are really cool and fun, but actually meeting people really solidifies it for people.
So if I'm thinking about moving, when should I begin to plan my visit, or how far out?
Well, I think that depends on where in the country you are. Are you in Massachusetts, just right over the border? Or are you in California? Somebody that's in Massachusetts and in New England, let's say, can take a drive up, have a weekend up here. It's a couple days. If you're coming out from California or the West Coast, you might want to spend a little bit longer, spend a week here or so. So that planning is going to depend on, how much information you are needing. Maybe you already have a job and you just want to meet people, so that's going to depend on what you really are looking for. What's keeping you where you are in California or Massachusetts, the family, jobs, other stuff, all your stuff. So those are the kinds of things you want to keep in mind. But I would say plan your move right away. You don't have to spend 6 months planning a visit. Call us up, email us, and we can help you plan something, in a few weeks. And if you're from far away, maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah, and is there any season that's best to see New Hampshire in?
Well, of course, the fall is most beautiful. In the summer, we have Pork Fest, but I know many people that visit during the winter. Maybe you want to see what it's like during the winter, which you may or may not be able to see because it's not, it's been very mild. So, we have events happening all year long. So there really isn't a bad time of year to visit New Hampshire. I do recommend coming up for Pork Fest because that's when you have a lot of people in one place, and you're going to be able to meet a lot of people in that 1 week.
And when is that generally held?
That's in June. It's usually the 3rd week of June. It's a full week-long event. It's Pork Fest is short for Porcupine Freedom Festival. It includes families and adults and seniors and singles. I mean, there's all people of all ages and ethnicities and sexual orientations and all that. Nobody is excluded here. Everybody is welcome. And it's a week-long camping adventure with music and food, lots of kids, and it's just fun.
Lots of guest speakers and all sorts of activities to do as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
What happened there? Okay. Is there anyone who can help me plan my visit or move?
Me. I'll help you plan your move. I will. That's my job. Been doing it for a couple years. But there's also an online community. Maybe you're sick and tired of hearing from Chris Lopez. Well, there's there are other platforms beyond Facebook. We're on Discord and MeWe and Twitter and all those. You can find us, our online community at fsp.org/community. There's all kinds of resources there, all the social media groups that we're on. There's different people in the various regions that are also available, and you can find them in the More section of our new website, fsp.org, and just click the More button and you'll see regions, and that will point you to specific people in specific regions. And so there's like 6 or 7 regions that we've got, and there's one person dedicated to each region that you can reach out to, and you can have a contact with one individual throughout your planning stages beyond just me.
That's great. Yeah, and I know that there's been a lot of people who reach out via Facebook and say, hey, I'm planning a trip up there. What would be best to see if I've got little kids, or what would be best for somebody in retirement age or something like that. And there is no shortage of people within the Facebook group that will offer opinions and tell them, oh, this would be really fun. This is a great idea. Talk to this person, hook up with these people.
Yeah, it's really great networking on Facebook and our other social media platforms because there's lots of eyes on there. So you'll get more than just information from Chris Lopez. And by the way, if you did want to contact me, I'm Chris, CHRIS at fsp.org. That's how you can find me. I'm pretty, easy to get in touch with. There's other resources like the visit nh.gov. That's the state's website for visiting the state, but they have a lot of really cool resources on that website, I would say. Especially if you're planning a trip, they have all kinds of ideas and fun things to do that are outside of the Free State Project that are New Hampshire related and are a lot of fun. And so I would totally check that out. Also, Porcupine Real Estate has the nhrelocationguide.com. That is a super resource. I send people to that one a lot because of a variety of resources that they have, not just for visiting, but also for, questions that people have about zoning and all kinds of stuff. It's a super duper guide for helping you plan your visit and your move.
Yeah, we've been in the real estate business in New Hampshire for over 15 years. Does that sound right, Mark? So we've amassed quite a bit of knowledge, and we have that all on our website. We also have put together, with the help of our social media folks, put together relocation or region guides. So if you're interested in the Lakes region, we can send you out upon request a packet that has a list of the local businesses that the folks in the community have recommended to us. Maybe at some point towards the end of the thing, we can throw one of those up for people to look at.
Right. And we've got a brand new website, fsp.org. And like I said, I think I just said it, our regions guide is pretty awesome too.
Oh, yeah. And actually, the next slide is actually about that as well. So,
oh, good.
So the resources that are out there. We had spoken about the Porcupine website, Porcupine Real Estate, the relocation guide. I do get a ton of questions from people saying, like, I want to shoot guns in my backyard. Is that possible? And we have some resources on there that will tell you how to find that information out in your specific town. One of the things that sets New Hampshire aside from several of the other states in the area is a lot of the rules are based on the town decisions versus the county or the state. So the town has a lot of power, and the website, the relocation guide will give you, there's a set of 11 towns that have no zoning regulations. There's the set of towns who have the lowest taxes. There's the set of towns that has the highest. So there's a lot of information out there, tons and tons of information.
Right. Yeah, I guess I was getting ahead of myself.
Anything else that we want to address in that one, or is that pretty much?
There's also the welcome wagon. That's a really great resource. So when you are ready for your
Oh, looks like we may have lost her there for a second. Yeah, so she was talking about the welcome wagon. So the welcome wagon is a service that we offer to new movers. When you have a date for your move, we will coordinate with other volunteers within the movement to help you make your move. Yeah, that's actually a free service that we provide. It's all community based, and it's a lot of fun. I've done a couple of them myself.
And I'll put a link in the chat room for the Welcome Wagon page on Facebook and some of the other sites and emails that Chris has referenced.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So maybe we'll just jump into this one and hopefully she can reconnect. So how can I meet other movers? So as I was saying, there was a new mover potluck scheduled for when I and my wife moved up here in 2020. And the great thing about the FSP is there are so many people who are community orientated in this group that there is probably something going on almost every day of the week. There is the website is the fspcalendar.org. Does that sound right, Mark?
That is correct. Yes, fsp.org/calendar.
/calendar. And Chris is reconnecting right now. Yeah, so that has a updated daily calendar of events that are going on in the area. And it's a great way to meet new people. And if you're new to an area specifically, meeting up with the folks who are like-minded is a great resource. Are you back there, Chris?
I'm back.
So we were just talking about the FSP calendar events. Do you want to expand on that a little?
About the calendar?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, we've got events that are happening all over the state, new mover parties, social events, shooting events, ladies events, beer drinking events, so they're fun social ones. There's also, rallies and political ones. There's sign waves. You'll find something for everybody and in all areas of the state on the calendar. It's put together by volunteers, are always propagating it with, there's gardening stuff, homesteading, all kinds of really interesting stuff just happening all year long, all around the state.
And I think one of the best parts about that calendar too is if you're like, well, I really want to, I don't know, play board games or something like that, and you didn't see a meetup in your area that was regarding board games, you can contact the people who organize the calendar and say, hey, I want to host an event at my house. Can we put it up on the calendar?
Exactly.
And that's something that you can do. So just because you're not seeing something in your area doesn't mean there's other people who aren't in the area ready to do something with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the cool thing about the Free State Project. The people that live here are creating the project. You know, we're creating the events, that we're doing stuff without being told or led. You know, it's like, if you want a board game, create a board game event. If you want a shooting event, you know, organize one and invite people to it. If you think that you see something on the calendar going on at the State House, and you want to, you know, invite people there, you know, maybe we'll put that one up there too. That kind of thing. I did just get a message from somebody named Kathy that's looking to join the event. Is she in the queue?
I will look to see if there's somebody in the waiting room. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Is there anything I should do when I visit? It's kind of a broad question.
So I wrote down some notes, go to as many of the events on the calendar as you can. And I mean, what I mean is like, not just like all of them that are in Manchester, but I mean, go to the different regions. There's something that's happening in Merrimack region. Then there's something that's happening in Keene, and there's something that happened up in the lakes, something up in the North Country. And yes, it's a lot of driving, but we're a very small state. You can get to about anywhere in an hour or 2 hours, depending where you are, you know, located. So, you know, check it out, because, you know, there's different, you know, we're all free staters here, but, you know, we've all got our own little personalities too. Maybe you'll click a little bit more with somebody in one region more than you will with another region. You know, it's a social experiment. Come to Pork Fest. Definitely come to Pork Fest or Liberty Forum. Liberty Forum just happened. Go on the driving tours. So they're not on the website anymore, but if you're interested in regional driving tours, I can point you to some. Again, they're on visit.nh.gov. And just remember that a lot of these events are family friendly. There's singles, there's retirees, everybody's invited to these events. And, you know, you're going to find something that fits your niche, you know.
Yeah.
And like Dominic said, if you don't, then, you know, let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to make there about the diversity of the group itself. There is just somebody from every walk of life. There's people who are very successful entrepreneurs in the group. There's people who are, you know, hourly workers who work in restaurants or something along those lines. So it's a big swath of people. And the nice part is, you know, that anytime you go to those events, you're going to have that baseline thing in common with people, is that you all believe in liberty, or have that common factor between everybody. So it makes it so much easier to break the ice with somebody, because you don't have to worry that you're going to step on somebody's toes or, you know, hurt somebody's feelings. Everybody's very respectful and very everybody has something to say, and everybody's respectful of listening to those things.
Well, that's the libertarian philosophy. You know, you live and let live, and be respectful to other people, you know, as long as you're not, you know, treading on me. You know, it's like, you can live your life how you want to live your life. And, you know, be you.
And as far as like anything specific which people should do when they're here, I definitely think everybody should check out the Seacoast. You should try to make it up to the Lakes region and check out Lake Winnipesaukee and the areas around there. Go up to North Conway. That's a fun time as well. Littleton is one of my favorite towns in the state. Gorgeous up there. Really, really pretty. Great restaurants. So.
Right. Newport, Monadnock, Mount Monadnock, all of these things that you just mentioned are in different regions of the state. You know, I totally think that people should visit at least one event or one thing in each of the regions, and, you know, get to see as much of the state as you can. I mean, in the end, there's so many towns that are alike. You'll see something in the Upper Valley region that's very similar to something that's in the Lakes region, you know, as far as towns, and there's going to be some fluctuation on property taxes and whatnot, but there's not the other 6 or 7 regions, but that doesn't mean that there's like, everything's like so spread out and so different from each other, because it's just like little differences. Like Melanie lives in Nashua. I live in Manchester. Dominic, I think you live on the seacoast. It's like,
Yep. Mhm.
yeah. So, like, who do you want to be? And again, even if you did live in Manchester, getting over to see Dominic only takes an hour. That's not too far.
Oh, not even. I think it's 35 minutes to Manchester. So
Yeah, it really is easy to get around, but you do want a car.
definitely, yeah. Public transportation in New Hampshire isn't the
That's
best,
not really
but
a thing. Not really a thing.
we do have a railway. You can get from town to town. That's you can do that.
Yep. Were
All
you
right.
on the what's next one? Oh, there you go. Okay.
So ready to move. What's next? What would be my first step when I'm ready to move?
Well, I would say you might want to, definitely call in the welcome wagon. So the welcome wagon is on the website, on the community page, fsp.org/community. There's that lets us know that you're coming, so we can get the folks together to help you to unload your stuff and to welcome you into the community. So just let somebody know that you're coming. I would say maybe rent first, maybe the visit that you just took a week or two visiting us really wasn't enough time to see all the whole state. You kind of got stuck in Manchester because there's so much going on. But rent first and take your time to look around the state. Take a year to travel around and spend time in each region. Come with some money, with some of your savings, in your pocket. I would totally not come and expect to sleep in your vehicle. People have done it, but it's just not fun at all. And I do not recommend that. So please bring some assets with you. I know that that's hard for a lot of people, but it really is important because, yeah, there's resources here, but you may not find something in that first month. So make sure you have a soft place to land, and that maybe that means renting, maybe that means that for a while. And I did forget to mention, when you said what we should do when you're visiting, come to a new movers party when you get here. And when you're visiting, whether when you visit or when you get here, come to a new movers party. There's one on the seacoast, there's one in Manchester. I think some of the other regions have their potlucks, and and I know Nashua has mover bags for their group. And there's people there to greet you. That's what we're there for. Those parties are for, is to send you the resources that you're looking for. Everybody's a little different.
Yeah, and it's a great way to find your community too, because there's so many different people within the group that it's a great way to meet somebody who you connect with that will, help you get settled and show you around and tell you where to go. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And renting is a great idea. My wife and I, we rented for about 9 months prior to finding a house. And that was mostly out of necessity, because when we moved up here, I had just quit my job in New York and was looking for a job when we got here. I didn't have something set up, and she found something, but we didn't know exactly where we wanted to land. So it gave us the ability to kind of take that time, scout around, and find something that fit our needs. So I recommend that to everybody who has that as an option.
Right. And I have heard a couple stories from people that thought they found their forever home, and then when they got here, they realized that wasn't where they wanted to be forever. They liked it on the other side of the river, so to speak.
Sure. I know personally, I want to move up north eventually, but this is very convenient for what I'm doing right now. So,
Mark.
we need somebody in the North Country.
Yeah, why not? There's cool folks up there. They really are. They're hardy folk.
I just posted in the chat room the link to Ledgeview Commercial. They're a big property management company based in Manchester that manages 300 apartment units. And they'd love to help Free Staters find a place to live, mainly in the Merrimack Valley, which is Nashua, Manchester, and Concord. But, it's a good landing place when you first get here. And of course, those of us at Porcupine Real Estate can also help a little bit with finding a rental if that's what you decide to do.
And there's also a page on our website of Porcupine owned Airbnbs / short-term rentals, which I like to always point out to everybody. I have a great story if we have a minute here. There was someone who was planning on visiting the state, kind of shot me a message saying, hey, I'm here, not even letting me know prior to the fact that he was coming. And he booked a stay with David and Michelle at Adventures Rest, which is one of the ones on the website there. And long story short, there were some issues with his ability to rent a car when he got here. And he had to figure out a way to get from Manchester to Concord. And they ended up coming out and picking him up. And they've spent the entire week kind of bringing him around places, introducing him to folks, and just an excellent community. I'm not going to say that's the standard, but that's a great example of how tight this community is. They saw somebody who was interested in moving here, had a bunch of questions, and they made his experience very, very great. He is leaving tomorrow, and I think there's no way he's not moving at this point.
Yep. Yep, that's so true. You know, we want you to move. We want to welcome you. You know, we want to help you find the resources you need. So we just need you to tell us what you need and when you're coming.
And we're great resources for a lot of that stuff. And even if there's small questions like where should I eat when I'm here or something like that, I'm more than happy to. My background prior to real estate was restaurants, so I'm always looking for a great place to recommend to people. We have several maps on the website. We have a brewery trail, we have a distilling trail and wine trail. There's over 100 breweries in New Hampshire now, believe it or not. It's not that big of a state, and there's quite a few of them. So, which
a Free Stater helped to ensure that before the Free State Project was in New Hampshire brewing, we could not brew our own beer.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yep, Mark might be able to elaborate on that, but that's my understanding.
Well, there were Free Staters responsible for reducing the barriers to entry for small craft breweries. It used to be, you have to be a big place like Budweiser, but we lowered the tax, lowered the restrictions, allowed small breweries to self-distribute their own beer, allowed them to have tasting and sell beer on site. All that was done through legislation because of Free Staters. So if you've enjoyed a local nano brewery or a craft brew in New Hampshire, thank a Free Stater.
Hey, that's great. I did not know that. I'll have to do some research on that. That could be a whole separate webinar.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Do we have anybody with questions, Mark?
Yes. What are the questions?
I'm checking the chat room, not right now. We put some good links there for people, but no questions as of yet. Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll just probably wrap it up there at this point then. Chris is always available at chris@fsp.org. You can reach out to her on Facebook as well. She's very active there. Chris, any other ways that they can get in touch with you? Oh
gosh, my phone number.
You don't have to
forget what it is. Oh man, anyway, obviously 603. Keep going. Yeah, so and my name is Chris with a CHRIS, not with a K. That's not opening up. I think it's, I'm sorry, folks.
We can just say that the email's fine. You don't have to give your phone number.
Yeah, because I can't remember it right now.
That's fine. And I'm always available as well. Feel free to reach out to me there at dominic.nhre@gmail.com. Or inquire on our website. When you visit porcupinerealestate.com, there is a link to sign up basically for our mailing list, and if you want to be contacted. So it's a great way to go about it. And I guess that's it. So thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for all you do for the movement. And yeah, thanks for everybody for showing up. Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.